Welcome to 0 to 60.
I'm Matt McChesney. I am the owner and operator of 6-0 Football Academy and 6-0 Equipment. Played at the University of Colorado from 2004. 6 years in the National Football League on both sides of football.
I'm Matt McChesney. This is 0 to 60. That is Coach Prime. We are at the University of Colorado. Brother, thank you so much.
All right. 0 to 60. We're rolling. All right, and we roll. Happy Friday to everybody out there. This is 0 to 60. I'm your host, Matt McChesney. We are rolling here on the Believe Network. Bailey's on the ones and the twos. Bree is off today. Maybe we'll get her on next week. Never know. We got some guests coming up next week as well. So keep forward or keep moving forward here. Monday and Fridays is going to be NFL and broad topics. After that, Tuesdays and Thursdays is going to be nothing but buffs. So as we get closer to training camp, man, I'm pretty excited about the future and the potential of the show moving forward. Remember, go on YouTube and Twitch, like and subscribe. The super chats and the subs are open. Nick needs shoes, so let's get this going. We've had great turnout all week when we rebooted the show, and I anticipate that will just continue to grow as we grow. So let's pay some bills here and then talk to you about our good friends at Bet Online, and then we will get rolling here on the Friday edition of 0 to 60. So let's pay some bills right off the bat before we get going there. Bet Online is our title sponsor. They have been since day one, and they do a great job. They're the number one source for all of your betting needs this season, especially with that lull between, the end of basketball and hockey and football season where it's just baseball. You can really go in and find the best odds on baseball, golf, soccer, and your top fights in the UFC and the MMA, and of course boxing. Every stat, every matchup, everything you need to make an educated bet and try and win yourself some coin is right there at Bet Online. They do an unbelievable job of supporting their clientele, not just trying to bank off of them. They want you to make money. Look, you can also, when you're done, gambling on sports, if you do like to, yell a little monkey, you can go play a little online 21, a little blackjack. You can go to 150 slot games, go test your luck there. Bet Online is the number one source for all of your sporting needs. And if you go use the promo code BLEAV, that's BLEAV, you will get a 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. That's a pretty good deal. Bet Online, the game starts here and we roll. All right, so again, we're rolling here on 0 to 60, the Friday edition, and let's get straight into it. Man, Bailey's on the ones and the twos. We got 71 people already viewing on the live show here on Friday afternoon. Remember, super chats and subs are open. Go to YouTube and Twitch, like and subscribe, and follow all over the social media platforms at 60 Academy and 0 to 60 on Twitter. So, roll.
All right, here we go. So we're going to start with some Denver Broncos football today, Matt. So in some new news, Broncos and guard Quinn Meinerz have agreed to a 4-year, $80 million extension. I always idolized Meinerz because he's a D3 product coming from a Division III school, Wisconsin Whitewater. And so for him to work his way up, he had a great senior day show out. Obviously, the Broncos took him, and, man, he's worked his way up to $80 million contract. Matt, what are your thoughts on this?
This kid is a stud. I think he's one of the best run blocking guards in football. Quinn Meinerz is just a bad motherfucker. It's very rare to see somebody come out of, small ass Wisconsin Whitewater and go to the NFL, let alone earn an $80 million contract. So, he's famous for beating up trees and throwing around fucking stumps. And that's pretty much what he does in the NFL. He throws around dudes and he's like a stump. So, it's a great addition by the Broncos to add to that offensive line. That is one high-priced offensive line, bro. And we're going to talk about this in a second, but they are not looked at very favorably around the league. The Broncos aren't. So that is one high-priced O-line, and I'd like to think that they're going to be pretty good up front, especially with all that money committed to it. So, everybody on that line, with the exception of the center, is making big time fucking bucks. So Powers is 80 million. McGlinchey's big time paid. You know, I think he got 80 or 90. Bowles has been getting paid for years. And now, you know, Quinn Meinerz now making 80 million. So I'd like to think that that's going to be the strength of their football team. And with all that money on deck for the Broncos, that needs to be, especially when they're going to be playing either Stidham or Bo Nix. So if both of them are fucking pretty much rookies. Stidham hasn't really played much, and Bo Nix is a rookie. So, and with the Mile High Milk Hunter, he doesn't get to play. Like, fuck off with everybody. Oh, he's got a strong arm. Yeah, but he doesn't get to play, dog. If he plays, you might as well just fold this motherfucker, go for the number 1 pick, and draft Shedeur and start over. Because if Bo Nix can't beat out Wilson, I mean, what the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah, that to your point is a very big issue. If you draft him at 11, you know, Sean Payton drafted him at 11. He said he saw something in him, right? If he couldn't start over Zach Wilson, really struggled, you know, from coming as the number 2 pick. I totally agree with you. It's a big issue in Denver. Let me ask you before we move on, do you see any, like, you know, offensive linemen coming out now in this year's, or, you know, this year headed into college football that are a good comparison to Meinerz? You know, I think the kid from Oregon, Jackson Powers Johnson, may be a good comparison. He's reportedly playing guard for the Raiders. Anybody else see that way?
I mean, look, I don't really like to compare players that way for the simple fact that everybody's unique in their own regard.
Okay.
Quinn is very unique. He's not huge, but he's wide and he's stumpy, but he's really long in his arms. So, and he's really quick. He's got great foot speed and he's a finisher. So he's like a smaller version of Quentin Nelson a little bit in Indianapolis, but he's just a mean bastard. So, you know, Quinn's kind of rewriting the book here on where you find offensive linemen. So he may be an enigma, but he also, you know, offensive linemen sometimes take a while to develop. So, you know, when you look deep in the trenches around the country, you can find really good players at smaller schools because sometimes the linemen take a little bit longer. But I will say this probably won't happen anymore because of the transfer portal and NIL. When you have a guy like this who's that good at Wisconsin Whitewater, well, now he's going to get in the portal and go get paid by somebody. If he has an NFL prospect, he'll go play at a higher level in order to maximize that. So I doubt you'll see a lot of this moving forward the more I think about it. So, hey, you need to look up what Jay Norvell said. So it's in the comments a couple of times. I'm trying to find it on my phone, but that's not really my thing. I can't do it while we're doing it. You can. So find out what old fucking soft ass sensitive fucking Jay Norvell set up at CSU, so we can talk about that shit too. But look, the Broncos are, like we said, they're not highly regarded at all. And this is wow. FanDuel put out their power rankings, bro, and it is. I mean, I was just watching Major League, and Rachel was supposed to finish dead fucking last. So, bro. Dead last. The Patriots and the Broncos are 31 and 32. That is not something you usually see in the National Football League, not in my lifetime. So I don't. Do I disagree with this? I don't know if I disagree with this. I don't know.
The Broncos below Carolina is a little baffling to me right now. Like
Carolina's a better roster than the Denver Broncos. This is not true.
I think how could you put Canales ahead of Sean Payton? That's the kind of the way I look at that. How could you?
I mean, I don't know, man. This is a really I got to think about this a little bit, but the Chiefs, Baltimore, San Francisco, okay, it makes sense. Top of the NFL, the Jets at number 8. That's obviously they think A-Rod's going to stay healthy. The Rams at like whatever that. What is that? 10, 11,
12.
12. That's a little low for them, I think. They're going to be pretty fucking good. But again, I probably switched the Jets and the Rams. The Cowboys at 7. That's a fucking what? Come on, the Cowboys are soft as shit. They may be a good regular season team, but they couldn't beat themselves out of a wet paper bag. Let's be real, bro. Come on. So the Browns are really low. That's a really good football team. Jacksonville's low. But again, you can only have so many spots. The Steelers are pretty high. They must think Russell Wilson's going to have his shit together. So look, the Steelers are at 16 and the Broncos are at 32, and they pretty much just gave Russell Wilson to Pittsburgh. So they must think that Russell Wilson's going to go to Pittsburgh and actually play pretty well, and they think that the Broncos are going to be poo-poo. All right, so
what about the 15?
We got to ask this question, though. All right,
Right,
this is everybody in the comments, too.
Mm-hmm.
If the Broncos are at 32, dog, and that's where they're sitting, you got to think they're going to be in the top 4 or 5 in the draft, probably. I mean, or 1 or 2. So even if Bo Nix has a subpar year and they're still picking 1 or 2, don't you have to go quarterback again?
Yeah, I mean the Cardinals did it with Rosen and Kyler Murray.
They sure did, but I don't know if Bo Nix is going to be Rosen, but they sure fucking did do that. So, man, I mean that's a big time hypothetical and it's down the road, but right now this is not a good fucking look. That is ugly. 30 seconds. The fucking Broncos have the 30. I mean, their offensive line alone should keep them out of 32. They're not a bad unit. I mean, are they good just because they're paid? No. So maybe they do suck and they're just all overpaid. Fuck, man, this is bad. The Broncos are terrible. I mean, I'm talking myself in and out of this shit. Like, look, McGlinchey is an okay player, overpaid. Bowles is an okay player, overpaid. Powers is an okay player, overpaid. Meinerz is a fucking stud, and they paid him. I personally think the other 3 will be gone after this year. They make too much money. That's just the way the NFL works. So they'll build around Quinn to move forward in Denver. But if this is all relying on whether or not Bo Nix can fucking play or not. So I guess we'll see. If he can't play, I know who'd look real motherfucking good in orange and blue. Just saying.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy is motherfucking right. Yeah. Oh, boy, what? Oh, boy, Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, I already know where you're going with this.
Oh, yeah.
Let me ask you, have you seen 15? They have the Bears at 15. That I think is
the Bears have got skill players and Caleb Williams. We'll see what kind of player he is, but they're going to think that he's going to go in and play football at a high level. We'll see. They got a good defense after they acquired Sweat last year. They really took off and they were playing really good at the end of the year. So, yeah, the Bears are on the up. They're going to try and pull a Detroit Lions and go win some football games.
Man, putting the Bears ahead of the Steelers, man, I
can't believe the Steelers. I can't believe the Steelers are in the top 16.
Really, you think they're?
I like Pittsburgh. I think they're really good, but I mean they're a playoff team last year. But again, Russell Wilson is not the answer. Now he may be the answer in Pittsburgh for a year or two. Maybe the way he played in Denver. If you're just looking at numbers, that's one thing. Because watching every game and going to several. And Bree can attest to this, bro. Like, the numbers lie to you. It's his. He misses so many reads. And I don't know, maybe Tomlin and the system they're going to run in Pittsburgh and more run heavy and less. I think last year was Sean Payton trying to prove that Russell Wilson couldn't play in his system. So I think he could have supported him better, but he wanted to get rid of his prima donna ass. And I don't blame him. Russell Wilson is a fucking total prima donna. So I don't know how that's going to fly in Pittsburgh. I think he's been humbled severely. So maybe Pittsburgh just goes back to Seattle football and doesn't rely on Russell and they just kind of play with him. And that allows him to be pretty good in that system. So they got a great back and a really good offensive line. Pittsburgh's a scary team. But again, they must think Russell Wilson's going to be pretty good. But at the same time, I think Justin Fields might be a better fit just because he can fucking move. Like, you might as well just throw the athlete out there and see what kind of offense you can have with Justin Fields for a year, because neither one of these guys are probably the future, and they're both on a 1-year contract.
Yeah, and that's the one thing you mentioned, the point. If Russell can get back to his play in Seattle, I don't know if you can see the picture right above me right here. It's Russell in his rookie year in Seattle.
Oh, so you're a fucking Russell Wilson.
I don't let my I grew up watching Russell.
The dude in your fucking living room, homie.
Let me say
what the fuck?
I saw Russ grow up, playing in Seattle. I also saw Russ live. He out in Nashville here play, in the Nathaniel Hackett area. So I've seen both sides here. And so I'll say this. I think in Pittsburgh, Russ has all the pieces together, to, be that Seattle era Russell Wilson again. He's got Pickens, run game. Najee Harris is always going to be helpful for him having a solid run game. That offensive line is much improved. They drafted the kid from Washington, Fatano. I think he's a hell of a player. I thought, Seattle was going to grab him. But, I think he has all the pieces in front of him. But, if he doesn't work out, they have Justin Fields.
It's still him though.
Yeah.
So all his corny. I can't believe you have a picture of him in your living room. All this corny bullshit with him and the fucking when he wore his own uniform to training camp.
Well, yeah. We ain't getting over the corny antics of
Like, dog, I mean, this motherfucker he drives me nuts. So, yeah, I mean, look, could he go in there and do a good job? Yeah, he probably could. And if he does, good for him. Maybe he earns another contract and cons another organization into fucking paying him. He can go win 4 Super Bowls with them. But I'm telling you, Justin Fields, both of them have their upside. Justin Fields might look real scary if you figure out a way to maximize him too. Like, I'd like to see both of them on the field. I know Justin only wants to play quarterback, but playing in the NFL is playing in the NFL. So, you know, it would be a little throwback to like Neil O'Donnell and Slash.
Yeah. Do you think Fields will be a kick returner at all? They also have
No, they're not doing that shit unless like some crazy trick play. He's not going to return kicks. No.
All right, you got a very fair point there. Here, before we move on, let's talk about some Colorado. But before we really get into our topics here, you know, I went and found that Jay Norvell video. I guess he has some comments on Deion Sanders, and you know, Colorado fans are not happy. Take a listen, you can kind of react.
Reading about Colorado's quarterback. Colorado's quarterback is the all-time leading passer in Colorado history. He threw for 3,200 yards. So that means Braden's thrown for more yards than anybody in the Colorado program has ever thrown. I don't have any feelings for Deion Sanders. I really don't. I don't think about Deion Sanders. No.
So what? Just throwing fucking stones at Colorado dog. Your best quarterback up there is Bradley Van Pelt. Cordell Stewart played at Colorado. Ty Detmer played at Colorado. Coy, excuse me. Yeah, we don't have the best history of quarterbacks, but let's be real here. Like, where the fuck is that coming from? Why just throw? Well, my quarterback's thrown for more yards than your quarterback in Colorado history. Like, obviously, Jay Norvell wishes he was the coach of Colorado. And you're not thinking about Coach Prime? Sure seems like thinking about Coach Prime to me. Your face and your body language and I'm not thinking about Coach Prime. That shit sure looks like you're thinking about him to me. Looks like you're scorned. He looks like a woman scorned, dog. Period. Like, hell knows no fury like a woman scorned. And Jay Norvell is a woman scorned. So, the whole Super Bowl thing, remember that with Feinbaum and all that bullshit? You don't think the fucking Super Bowl is in Fort Collins when CU goes there after the Nebraska game, regardless of the outcome in Lincoln? Look, Jay Norvell is a clown, dude. He did this last year with the fucking sunglasses thing. He can't fucking keep Coach Prime's name out of his mouth. Dog, keep fucking Coach Prime's name out of your mouth, Jay Norvell. All you're going to do is awaken the beast. Or, timeout. Keep talking, motherfuckers. Keep talking, CSU. Rev it up, dog. Rev up the rhetoric. Let's go, dude. Keep this shit going. Talk like Marcus Houston did and get stopped at the goal line. Talk like Bradley Van Pelt did and get beat your senior year. Talk. Chirp, 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 sheep. Ba, 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 as we say. So go fucking ba, ba, ba all you want and keep saying you're not thinking about Deion when you're dreaming about his ass. He was probably your favorite player growing up. Hey, you were probably playing against his ass. You're the same age, and you loved him at the same time. That's weird. So, look, dude, everybody, let's just be real here. Time out. Everybody at CSU wishes they could play at CU. Facts. So, don't get it twisted. Your quarterback, if they recruited him at CU, he would have been the backup right now to Shedeur. I don't care if he threw for more yards in the fucking Mountain West playing against San Jose State. And you put fucking Shedeur and Travis Hunter and Horn and them boys in the Mountain West, and let's see if CU goes to a bowl game. Team that hasn't been to a bowl game God knows how long. I'm not saying CU's any good historically. With the last 20 years, we've been dog shit, but let's be real. We're not talking about comparing programs here. Mm-hmm. So it just seems to me like fucking Jay Norvell's got a real Colorado problem. I mean, this is what little brothers do. Little brothers are always looking up at the big brother. Man, really wish I could be like him. You can't be like this. You're green and gold, bitch, not black and gold. So remember that. Mm-hmm. I didn't have to put on a full-length sleeve and stick my hand up the ass of a camel to get my degree. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if Jay Norvell is on that trip. So, look, man, you're at Mountain West Media Day, homie. Talk about Washington State and Oregon State who are going to walk into Fort Collins this year and shit stomp the fuck out of you. So let's just be real, dog. Like CSU, stop. Just stop. Your head coach is already talking about us again. You don't play us until week 3. We're going to take over your stadium. We're going to canvas in black and gold. And all you fucking sheep herders and sheep are going to be up there bah about how much you hate us because you fucking ain't us. Remember that shit. So, Jay, again, I'm going to reiterate. You should probably keep everybody's name out your mouth because you just said something dumb again. And look, man, the more you just light this fire, you woke CU up last year. They know they can't take you lightly. You gave him your best shot and you still fucking lost. So sit there and look disgruntled and tell me you're not thinking about me. And the more someone says, I don't ever think about that motherfucker, you know damn well he's sitting on the shitter in the morning like, I wonder what Dion ate last night and if he's having the same kind of movement I am. I can't believe Dion's movement was faster. Like, come on, dog.
Man, yeah, I 100% agree with you. Let me ask you, Norvell's been a coach for a long time. He has a lot of envy. It seems like, obviously, he talks about Colorado a lot, but let me ask you, he seems to have a lot of envious.
Get your name out the man. Shut the fuck up, Jay.
He seems to have a lot of envious for Coach Prime. Him being a longtime coach, why would that be?
I don't understand the visual. Like, I don't think about Coach Sanders. I don't think about Coach Prime. I don't think about Deion Sanders. Dog, it's okay. Like, he's an all-time great player. He's the fucking man. He's Coach Prime. Why? What other coach has alienated himself against Coach Prime more than Jay Norvell? Not even Matt Rule. I would like Matt and Coach Prime don't have any beef and shit. Matt Rule's a level-headed coach and shit. Like, of course, he's a rival and we hate him, but like at least there's respect there. This is why I said on Monday, like, I respect the shit out of Nebraska, although I hate them. I'll do business with them. Like, I'll send a player there. I don't even pick up the phone when CSU calls. I wouldn't send a player there if you fucking paid me to do it. So, like, I'm dead serious, man. This is why CU and CSU people hate each other, dude, because they just can't help themselves. They're so jealous and hate us because they ain't us. They can't help it. And I don't understand the vitriol from Norvell to Coach Prime personally. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, what do you think about him? I don't think about him at all. Like, whoa. Like, just go back and play it again, and just look at his mannerisms and the way his facial expression changed when they bring up Coach Prime's name, and tell me this guy doesn't have nightmares about 21 running circles around his ass as a coach.
So that means Braden's thrown for more yards than anybody in the Colorado program ever thrown. I don't have any feelings for Deion Sanders. I really don't. I don't think about Deion Sanders. No.
Liar. This guy is full of shit. He is totally freaked out by Coach Prime. And look, I would be too, dog. I mean, shit. You're essentially, I mean, let's be real. If CU's been irrelevant for that long, you're worse than us. So what does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. Right. What does that mean?
At least we're on the up, and we have NFL football players and potentially the first pick in the draft, and that's Travis Hunter and maybe Shedeur too. But and Coach Prime and great players coming in and NFL guys all over the staff. Not saying you don't. And again, if you're super pissed off about this as a CSU fan, that sucks. That sucks. If you're an ex-player and you got beef, that sucks. That sucks. The Pierce brothers were in the gym the other day. I trained Tate Pierce. Morgan and Eric both played at CSU. We have friendly banter all the time. They love this shit. So, again, this is why CU and CSU is so fun, is because there's real hate on the field. Like, people actually don't fucking like each other. I respect Nebraska, and I want to beat the shit out of them. But I fucking hate the people in Fort Collins with a passion. Like, if Nick's only opportunity is CSU, he's going to UNC.
I respect the decision. I absolutely understand. Let's I mean, what can I say? I mean, you gotta look at it. I mean, Matt Rule and Deion are cordial. They're respectful. Norvell,
anybody in the comments, anybody out there, what other coach in the country has like isolated themselves to be Coach Prime's nemesis other than Jay? It's like he's doing it so we keep talking about Jay. It's like he's riding coattails. Like, I know if I bring up Coach Prime or if I just say something stupid, why didn't he just say, like, look, I respect the shit out of Coach Prime. Last year's game was incredible. I can't wait until week 3. What he's done with Shedeur, what we've done with Nicolosi, I think it's going to be an incredible matchup between two great quarterbacks and really good football teams. Last year was unfortunate with all the, off the field stuff that came on the field. We kind of eliminate that. I just want to have a really good, solid, hard-played football game on Saturday night when CU comes to CSU. It's going to be a great game. I can't wait to elevate the entire state when CU comes to Fort Collins. But instead, he's not thinking about him, and he's all pissed off, and you're talking about how your quarterback has thrown for more yards than the leading quarterback at Seaton. Yeah, but we also have, multiple 2,000-yard rushers and Heisman Trophy winners at running back and shit too, motherfuckers. So let's be real here. This is straight jealousy. It's very, Sean Carter, great Jay-Z, that's a great line. The jealousy is a female trait. Don't be mad at me because I push weight. It's a female trait, homie. Knock it off.
Exactly. I think you said it best. You drop it off the Jay-Z, man.
This is straight off the cuff too. I didn't see this. I saw it in the comments. We didn't even know we were going to talk about this shit.
Yeah, exactly, man. It makes for a great conversation. And I don't understand why Jay Norvell seems to put it. I don't hear anything else about Colorado State besides this. This is the only thing that's on my radar, and
look, the point of this is this too. He started talking about his quarterback. Keep it about your guys.
Yeah.
Why aren't you talking about your quarterback and him?
Mm-hmm.
Why does it have to go to? I know they asked a question, but still, as the coach in the media school, you have to be able to manipulate the media too. The same way they're trying to get a clip from you to get this kind of shit going that we're doing, because that's what media is these days. Yeah. You have to be able to manipulate them too and play them like a fucking fiddle. Not over there and get played like Charlie Daniels. What the fuck, dog? Mm-hmm. The devil came down from Georgia and Jay Norvell bought it. Period. This guy's fucking, holy shit. It's like the media knows they can just go soft lob some shit and he'll just dunk it. You got a fucking clip. Bank it.
Yeah. What other coach in college? People are going to say, oh, it's a Coach Prime thing. What other coach in college football does this to another college? It just seems like Dion is a big polarizing figure. Norvell is the bitter rival. And this is what, this is what happens, man.
It's okay, Jay. There's only one Coach Prime and you ain't him.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
And that's okay. That's okay, bro. Be you.
Yeah, exactly. Look, let's transition to some Colorado football.
That's the other thing. Here, I just want to put this up here real quick.
Go
ahead. Texas is going to smoke them in the season opener. Have fun at UT week 1, homie. That great point, Daryl Hopkins. Thank you so much for putting that in there. Totally forgot that they go to Texas at the beginning of the season. Jay, let me tell Jay Norvell. I'm going to tell you, I played at Texas before. They whipped our ass. We got them in the Big 12 title game the same year, but they got us. Whoa. They are good, too. They are going to try and hang fucking 100 on you because they want to see Arch Manning play.
Yeah.
It's a perfect opportunity to have Quinn play the first half and Arch play the second half because you're being fed to them. So let's be real. Maybe you should focus on the Texas Longhorns.
Mm-hmm.
They're interested with the first time they've ever worn an SEC patch on their jersey. I doubt that they want to go out and lose to a bunch of fucking veterinarians at Colorado State. So, focus on Texas, homie. You don't get us until week 3. You got UNC in the middle. It's a nice little pad game. You can go out and put some numbers up. But in between Texas, right, or we got UNC right there, you got to deal with Texas, and then you can get to us, okay? So you're going to start 1 and 2. It's okay. The UNC game will be nice. Everybody can have a nice Saturday and drink some beers and talk about the good old days after Texas absolutely fucking destroys you.
Do you have a score prediction?
I think they beat them 55-10.
Sounds about right.
And then the quarterback that threw for 3,600 yards, if he's even healthy by the time he gets to Boulder, we'll talk.
There you go.
Try blocking all the freaks that Texas is going to throw at him. Have fun.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe, again, focus on Texas. You don't play Colorado until week 3, idiots.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Dude, what is wrong with these guys?
Good question. Hey, let's transition to some Colorado football. Now we've talked about Colorado State. Let's talk about Colorado. Phil Loadholt, Colorado's offensive line coach, was asked about Tyler Brown, Kahlil, Benson, Jordan Seaton, and Shedeur Sanders, and he had some good things to say about him. Take a listen and get your take.
Tyler Brown is probably one of the strongest players I've ever seen in my life. That's from every level, NFL and all included, especially in the weight room. It translates to the field. He's a leader in the room, a guy you don't have to worry about off the field. Kahlil Benson is a leader. That's the first thing that comes to mind with him. He's a leader. He's a dog. He's going to hold people accountable. He's going to be the guy who works harder than anybody. So love coaching him. He was the first guy to commit to me when I got the job. And he's just a leader, man. That's what he is. He's the alpha, the alpha in the room for sure. Jordan is a special talent. He is a very special talent. He came through, had a great winter, good spring, and now he's going into his first summer and getting ready for the fall. So, but special talent, going to be a really, really, really good player. Best in the country. You sit back and you watch him doing whatever he's doing, and he's a leader. Okay. He's a leader. He's accurate. He knows exactly where he wants people to be. He's going to put us in the right protection. He's going to make us right. As long as we give him the time that he needs to make something happen, he'll make it happen.
There you have it. Matt, your thoughts on that?
Look, I feel about Loadholt. He's a great coach. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to do a really good job. It's his first job, but I do know him personally. He's under the Bill Beatenbaugh tree. So I'm really excited about him being there. Mm-hmm. He's right. Brown is a goddamn Hulk. He's a freak. He's a great point of attack guard. Benson is a dog. We talked about this yesterday. He's an ass kicker. He wants to compete. He's a perfect complement to Seaton on the other side. Mm-hmm. We talked about the ability to really excel when you have two good tackles, and they got two good tackles. Zelinkus in the middle, I think he really ties the room together like a good rug on Big Lebowski. Zelinkus really ties the room together. And, he's heady, he's smart, he plays well under pressure, and he's a Colorado kid. Mm-hmm. So, you've got a little bit of that fucking Mile High Madness there at the point of the spear, surrounded by four massive offensive linemen. Mm-hmm. Brown is the shortest of the group at like 6'3.5", 6'4", but the other three, Seaton, Benson, and Meinerz, are all 6'6" plus. So they're huge.
They're all 300 pounds.
They're all 330.
Yeah.
Like Zelinkus is about 300, 305. Everybody else is huge. Yeah. So that's what we needed in Boulder. Last year we had height, but we didn't really have a lot of girth. And after the initial 3-game, real explosion, Oregon put the blueprint out on how to beat the shit out of us, and we couldn't run the football. So I really think that changes this year. I think that Colorado is going to be able to really lean on people and run the shit out of the ball. And knowing the way that Coach Loadholt played, and knowing the way that he's going to coach, I'm telling you, bro, if you just understand that I know more about CU than everybody. And I'm not being cocky. That's a fact.
I agree.
I am interwoven in the community. I know what they're doing. I know how they're going to do it. I know who they're recruiting. We talk behind the scenes constantly. The information I know that I don't talk about is deeper than the shit I talk about. So when I'm telling you they're going to average 4 yards a carry and run the ball more, I'm being dead serious. You're going to see Shedeur under center. They're going to move the pocket. It's going to be more pro style than you've seen mixed in with spread and 5 wide and fucking 5 elite receivers on the field and being able to pass block with 5. Last year, they couldn't pass block with 6. So this year, they're like the UCLA debacle that we saw last year. That's not happening again this year. You have too much talent on the field. They can actually win one-on-ones. Mm-hmm. And you won't also, like I said, and I know that this is a clip you're going to put up later, but I'm going to reiterate this. It's like I want to make a T-shirt. When Shedeur doesn't have to do everything, Shedeur is going to be able to do anything. Mm-hmm. When you can't double team Travis Hunter and cheap shot him, you know how good he's going to be? Like, fuck, man. It all comes back to the offensive line. So as long as the offensive line continues to improve and Loadholt's got them moving in the right direction anyway, they're going to be scary dogs. So everybody can talk that shit. So he's going to win 3 games, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, if everyone gets hurt, they're going to win 3 games. Yeah. But they're going to be pretty fucking good. So I really think the offensive line is going to be the catalyst for the explosion that you're going to see out of this football team.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. I wanted to ask you a question about recruiting. You mentioned Zelinkus is a Colorado kid. With Deion bringing in a lot of different transfers, 30-plus transfers this offseason, do you think that in-state recruiting is kind of dead in college football? And this is kind of a broader question than Colorado. I was just using Zelinkus as an example. But do you think in-state recruiting in college football is dead?
No, I don't. They recruited 16 high school kids last year, and a bunch of them played. Mm-hmm. So they're still recruiting high school kids. You just have to be elite. Back in before Coach Prime got this job, the University of Colorado, and I've told this story before, but let's say, okay, when Carl Durrell was here his senior year, I would send a group of guys up there to be recruited. And I would look at the recruit list of the other kids they had in, and my guys were always at the top. 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, very rarely a 4 or 5 unless they're in state, but 3-star kids, California, Texas, guys that are getting recruited by UTEP and shit. Right. So, and that's a fact. No talking shit. It's just what it is. And when I went up there this year, I'm looking at the list, and everybody I'm sending up, even great players that went D1, are all at the bottom of the list. Like Gage Ginther, who's went to Tennessee and is going to play next year for him. He's in the middle as a 3-star, 4-star. And they're like, yeah, we might bring him in. And I'm like, okay, things have changed. So you have got to be not only elite, but you have to be what they're looking for. So some guys just might not fit the 6'8", 340-pound mold. I don't know the name of the kid they just brought in, but he's a high school kid. He just committed to Loadholt, and he is 6'8.5", 360. He's a fucking wall. That's what they're trying to get up there. The biggest, strongest motherfuckers they can find. So some guys just aren't going to fit that. Some guys are. But there's equal opportunity. There's a lot of really good players in Colorado. Brett Coolidge is offered by them, obviously, but he's got Georgia and Texas and all these others. He goes to IMG, but he's still a Colorado kid. Deacon Schmidt hasn't been offered by CU yet, but he's got Oklahoma and Kansas State and Nebraska. So we'll see what CU does. He did a really good job at camp. There's a couple other kids at Valor that are really high on people's lists. There's a lot of really good players around the state from an offensive line perspective. Nate Chastain up at Fossil Ridge. But at the same time, you've got to look at, do you fit what Coach Prime, Coach Loadholt, and what they're trying to build in Boulder? That's all. So if you don't fit what they're doing, then it's a dead opportunity for you. But that doesn't mean necessarily it's a dead opportunity for all. You just have to be able to fit the system. I mean, let's be real. Does everybody remember where Coach Loadholt went to high school? He went to Fountain Fort Carson in Colorado Springs. So it's not like we can't find 6'8", 320-pound tackles. Coach Loadholt was a 6'8", 320-pound tackle from fucking Colorado Springs and Fountain Fort Carson. So, again, you have to recruit the kid. You can't let Coach Loadholt at Fountain Fort Carson leave Colorado and go to fucking Oklahoma. You can't let that happen. So, hopefully, now Coach Loadholt, being back in Colorado's home stomping ground, can keep people here if they are the right fit for the system and what they're doing in Boulder.
No doubt. And you mentioned that Loadholt being able to maintain Colorado products. I think USC is having a big problem with that, not being able to keep California products. You're seeing California products at Alabama, Oregon. Lanning is getting a lot of them, and Texas A&M, other schools outside of California. What about the Loadholt being from there? How will he really be able to bring them in and say, hey, stay in the state of Colorado, come play for Coach Prime, let me develop you?
We talked about this. Why wouldn't you want to play for Coach Prime? If he offers you and you don't take it as seriously as humanly possible, you don't like money. And honestly, now that you can make money playing in college, that's what this is about.
Yeah.
And because, bro, I love football, but I like getting paid for it too.
Yeah.
I loved it a lot. I loved it a lot when I didn't get paid for it. I loved it a lot when I got paid for it. So what the fuck? So it's, now it's not so much about recruiting, it's about development. So the key is not, can we recruit the right kid? It's, can we develop the kid after we recruit them?
No doubt. I totally hear you. Man, good show on Friday, 0 to 60. Before we close out, I wanted to kind of circle back to this list here, this FanDuel Power Rankings list. Before we close out, the Broncos at 32. Do you agree with this? And can you give a quick record prediction for the Denver Broncos?
32 is fucking terrible. I mean, I would put them at 31. They're terrible, bro. Let's be real. They're not good. I mean, they're going to have to prove it. If they want me to change my mind, homie, they're going to have to prove it, dude. I mean, I want to see Bo Nix do well, but I also want to draft Shedeur. So there's part of me that wants to see them fall straight on their fucking face and just lose as many games as humanly possible. Because the last time we did that, unfortunately, I was on the team. That was my last year in the NFL. We went 4-12. But you know who we drafted? Von fucking Miller. So let's be real, man. You get elite players at the top of the draft. So maybe we just have to eat a ton of shit for a year in order to get an elite player that can actually pull us out of the fucking pit of despair that we're in. Because holy God in heaven, the Broncos, since they sold their soul to the devil and got Peyton Manning and won a Super Bowl, we have been fucking poo-poo. And I've never experienced this in my entire life being a Bronco fan and playing for the franchise. There's never they never had back-to-back losing seasons, dog. Like, and they've had almost a decade now of just straight losing.
Yeah.
And it sucks. And like their uniforms now, at least they match the tone. Awful. Let's go back to the old D, bro. The old D is where it's at. That's what people want to see. Everybody loves it. Well, almost everyone. Everyone I know loves the D. Almost everyone, at least. So
yeah,
I think that the new uniforms are. But hey, 32. That's a great ranking if you're in college. 7 spots outside the top 25, dog. We're fucking rolling.
I'll tell you one thing I'm looking forward to: the Broncos and the Seahawks showdown in week 2. Definitely looking forward to that.
Believe me, this much of a fucking Russell Wilson homer. It makes me kind of pissed.
Russell Wilson homer. I grew up in
Seattle. Fucking Bailey. Stand out, dog. You have a picture of him over your left shoulder in your motherfucking living room, homie. I have pictures of my dad in the living room and shit. What? I mean, do you like look at it and cry and like, oh, Russ, why'd you leave?
For a long time. It's signed. That's why. I don't know. I've had it for a long time.
It's not just a.
No, it's not just a picture. It's signed rookie year. Like I could, it's a very nice picture.
I'm sensitive. I'm a dick. You better get used to this.
No, we good. Let me know. Last question. You said there's no chance that the Mormon MILF Hunter, or excuse me, the Mile High MILF Hunter will play for Denver. But you also mentioned that you want the Broncos to somehow get Shedeur Sanders. So what do you have to say?
I can't watch the games if he plays.
You can't? No faith.
Fuck you. I'm a Jet, okay? I played for the Jets for 3 years. I've had to watch this goddamn Mormon for how long? How long is he running out there just Mormon MILF hunting, Manhattan MILF hunting, Mile High MILF hunting? This is what he does. He's MILF hunting. He ain't trying to play quarterback. 31 fucking starts he had for the Jets. I had to watch Wilson 31 times. So don't tell me I have to do it in Denver now, bro. Look, if you want to lose a fan for a year, start that fucking guy. And I'll go to the games and I'll just take like a bunch of sleeping pills and sleep in the seat. Just shake me when it's over after we get me 45-10.
Man, there you folks, there you have it. Matt's thoughts on the Mormon MILF Hunter playing. Matt does not want him to play.
I will say that, look, I know he just got engaged and idiot, but look, he's what is he doing? I know he can throw the ball a mile and he looks like a fucking Backstreet Boy, but that doesn't make him a good quarterback.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not.
I can't believe they brought him in here. Why would you
look? This is BYU, so I hear you. I mean,
just to see if he can play. Like I'm sure that's why they brought him in. All they did was give up a 7th rounder for him. But I mean, whatever, man. Fuck. He doesn't seem like he looks pretty happy to me.
That much more confidence in Stidham than you do Zach Wilson?
I think Stidham actually wants to play quarterback. See, this is my thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is my thing. With highly drafted players, okay? Like, to be serious, Wilson went 2nd overall.
Yeah.
If you're going 2nd overall and you fail that monumentally and they give you up for a 7th rounder, and I know he's living life and he's just a happy kid and shit, I would be totally immersed in I would do nothing but football.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be posting on social media. I would be embarrassed, dog. Embarrassed. Like, you went 2nd overall and you fucked up that bad and you're gone already.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed. Like, embarrassed. Like, I'm embarrassed for him. So I don't think he really loves football. I think he likes being young and rich. And when he's done, he's going to go do whatever the fuck he's doing. And that's just what it is. I think Stidham actually likes football.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. Is I think Stidham will actually do the work. He didn't go super high 1st round. He got a $10 million contract to be a backup.
Mm-hmm.
I think Stidham can be a really good backup for the Broncos if we need him. I don't necessarily want him to be the starter. I want to see if Bo Nix can play. I don't think that it's I don't think it's conducive to the growth of your football team these days, unless you're the Chiefs and you have Andy Reid and Alex Smith and like an established playoff team and you trade up in the first round to get Mahomes. So I don't want to contradict myself because that did work. Mm-hmm. It worked with Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. There's several circumstances where you can sit guys and it works. But those are usually like good football teams where they just either had the pick or they moved up, right? Mm-hmm. Or like Favre got traded from the fucking Falcons to the Packers and Milkowski goes down and all of a sudden you got Brett Favre and then all of a sudden you got Aaron Rodgers and he has to sit. So like it's a different situation here with Bo Nix. So look, I need Bo Nix. I want Bo Nix to play immediately because I want to just throw his ass in the fire and see if he can do it. He's already 24 years old. Yeah, he's had like 60 starts in college. He needs to sit around and fucking watch somebody play football. Come on, dog. How much more time does he need to play? He's either gonna be good or he ain't. So he's got a 77% completion percentage in college, but this ain't college. Yeah. So like there's massive windows, and anybody that plays NCAA, there are massive windows in college football, bro. All right, fuck. So I'm just saying, like you can't sit here and act like, well, we should play Stidham and just sit Nix and see what we got next year. Like that's the coward's way to do things in the NFL these days. If anything, throw him out there. If he sucks, at least Peyton can just blame it on the fact that he was the 5th quarterback taken at number 12, and it's all that we got, and he sucks, and we're just going to cut his ass or trade him for a 6th-round pick to whoever the fuck, and we're going to take Shedeur Sanders or Beck or one of these other freaks with number 1 and roll there. And then if it doesn't work, you get to fire Peyton too. So the guys at Walmart got a lot of shit on their plate. We'll put it like that. I hope the greeters at the fucking door next year at Sports Authority are good or whatever it's called. It's not Sports Authority anymore. It's
that's old Sports Authority.
Power Field now.
Mm-hmm. Man,
it's terrible.
Man, terrible. One thing I will say, as we close out here, on our Friday 0 to 60 show. We're going to start doing memberships coming next week, so stay tuned for that. We're going to put together, 0 to 60 Army, put together really a community for this show as the show grows.
Just the Dungeon family. We'll just keep it going off the gym. So, we're going to try and get some good gear out there. We'll have it on the website eventually. Mm-hmm. I don't know why that's such a hard conundrum to overcome, but it sure has been for me. So one of these days we'll be able to sell some T-shirts to all you fucks. But look, the super chats and the subs are open. We appreciate everybody. Have yourself a blessed weekend. And remember to follow everybody on social media. We'll get Bree. I know people are asking about Bree. We'll get her back on next week at some point. And also we'll have a couple interviews coming up in the next coming weeks as well when I get on to that. So Bailey, have yourself a good weekend. Everybody out there, man, great show. Tons of interaction. Fucking 709 people watching, 710 right now watching the show. And 708, 709. So we just keep the party going. On the Twitch channel, we're going to try and figure out how to – Bailey's going to help with this, but we're going to try and figure out how to connect the camera and play the game and get some people interacting there as well. So I know Bailey wants me to stay on afterwards and do all that shit, but I ain't doing it today. I'll call you tomorrow and we'll figure it all out. Everybody have yourself a great day and a great weekend. Bailey, great week. See you Monday.
Cool. Thank you all for watching. See you guys Monday. Peace.